10 years ago, our hero, Jade, goes to the guild as an adventurer. On that same day, he falls in love with the receptionist. Later, in a mountainous field, he is busy eliminating a small monster with a dagger. Actually, he is a flowerbud ranked adventurer and feels good eliminating a monster. He excitedly announces he has just eliminated a slime for the first time. As he puts back his dagger, he reflects that he has a dream of becoming a great adventurer, and now he is on his first quest. This quest requires gathering mana stones from monsters after eliminating them. When monsters are eliminated, they give ether, and the monsters leave behind mana stones. On the other hand, the ether is absorbed into the flower crest of an adventurer. The more monsters one defeats, the more flower petals grow, making one stronger. Having flower buds, 1 to 2 petals is beginner, 3 to 6 petals is intermediate, and 7 to 10 is advanced. Furthermore, there is a unique pattern for each of the flower classes, which includes attacker, guard, enhancer, and support. He is still a beginner with type enhancer. He is determined to reach rank 10, which no other adventurer has become. Right then, he realizes he needs to stay focused. He closely observes the mana stone he got from the defeated slime. Seeing it under the sunlight, he learns it has a small crack on it. Because of the damage, his reward will be a lot less. Still, he feels proud for doing this much as a beginner, and feels determined to do even better next time. His main goal is to become a hero, to leave a mark in the world, and to become the very best adventurer. With that, he decides to go back to the guild. Later, he steps inside the Royal Capital Guild reception. He is busy finding the receptionist so his mana stone can be observed. Suddenly, he finds window number 18 is open. He goes there directly and finds a beautiful, long-haired receptionist. Seeing her makes him blush. He finds her cute and has never seen someone this cute before. Her eyes seem soothing, yet it feels like those can suck the person in front. He notes her hair is silky smooth and almost shining. Looking at her name tag, he learns that her name is Garnet. Even her name is lovely to him. Closing his eyes, wondering what he should do, he finds himself completely fallen for her. She asks if he has some problem. Coming back to reality, he mentions he wants her to check his mana stone. However, deep down, he even finds her voice angelic and admits he is really in love. Meanwhile, she states that due to the damage, the stone's value has dropped to half, which is 500 golai. He is completely captivated by her beauty, which even makes him forget his goal of becoming the greatest adventurer. Now, he wants to talk to her more, but the only way he can talk is through the counter, so he makes a plan. He thanks her and then reveals he wants to go for another quest. She puts forward the catalog for Bud-ranked adventurers, and he selects one immediately. He has made a decision to take as many quests as he can just to get closer to her. Later, he excitedly goes to complete the quest so he can go back to Garnet. With every passing day, he completes quests just to talk to her as soon as he can. While fighting monsters, the only name echoing in his heart is hers. Now, 10 years later, somewhere on a mountain road, a golem has emerged. The adventurers present spot it. The elder adventurer thinks they can't last for long, while the female adventurer is trying to heal the elder. She reveals she is done with buffs and leaves everything to the elder, who is her grandfather. The elder decides to finish off in one strike. He uses his ability Shatter to land a strike on the golem. Unfortunately, the golem is totally unaffected and stands perfectly fine. The elder is shocked to see his attack ineffective, even though he is a 7-rank adventurer. Then he decides to run away along with his granddaughter. Surprisingly, the golem gets destroyed as a blast erupts. Both freeze for a moment. The short-haired girl asks her grandfather if he has used his secret killing technique. The elder yells in panic, admitting he has nothing to do with something like that. Then he points out something. It turns out Jade is coming towards them and is now a rank 10 adventurer. Both recognize him and yell, wondering how a rank 10 adventurer ended up here. While explaining, his tongue slips as he mentions Garnet, but he immediately changes the subject, stating he came here to defeat the golem. He also points out he barely reached right on time. The short-haired girl thanks him and then gets curious about how he has defeated the golem. He calmly reveals he threw a rock at it. The female adventurer gets stunned and asks if he didn't use his sword. He jokingly states he can't just throw his sword instead of a rock. However, the short-haired girl makes it clear that since he is an enhancer, she thought he would have enhanced his sword to fight the monster. Unexpectedly, he reveals that his sword is actually the country's treasured sword. He received it from the guild staff as a memento when he became a rank 10 adventurer. The short-haired girl asks why he is even carrying it if it is meant to be a memento. Meanwhile, her grandfather implies that he is carrying it simply as a form of self-discipline. The elder admits that Jade is truly worthy of the country's treasure. However, Jade is just standing there speechless. Then, internally, he recalls that this gift is from the king, but since Garnet has bestowed the sword to him, he keeps it with him all the time. Plus, this sword is also something that Garnet has touched, and carrying it with him makes him feel like she is right next to him. With that, he is grateful that no one got hurt and decides to go back to the capital. The elder mentions it is as expected of a rank 10, to perfectly finish the mission and go back with results. After that, the short-haired girl asks Jade how she can become strong like him. He answers that anyone can be strong like him if they keep doing quests nonstop. However, the female adventurer points out it is impossible as injuries are inevitable, so one needs to rest for a few days to heal. She adds that, as a beginner in the past, she has taken a beating and also broke her bones as well. Yet he has persevered every day. She wonders why he goes so far. Then her grandfather bluntly adds that it's the power of love. Jade gets startled and panics, asking the elder what made him say it has something to do with love. Internally, he reflects that he has never revealed to anyone that Garnet is his crush. The elder boasts he is not that old. He adds that he knows what has driven Jade. It is the love for the people and love for peace. For a moment, Jade is speechless as he notes that there is also that kind of love. With that, he awkwardly acknowledges it. Meanwhile, the elder believes it is truly admirable. Later, he finally arrives at the Royal Capital Guild Hall, holding a huge monostone. The other adventurers present spot him and note the massive monostone he is holding. As he is walking in the hall through a number of adventurers, one points out that high-ranking adventurers commonly go to special receptions. However, Jade is going to the normal reception. They believe that even though he is very strong, he has a down-to-earth personality. They all consider him a selfless hero. Meanwhile, he is feeling a bit embarrassed hearing those comments. Then he worries that Garnet is going to think he is a weirdo. Internally, he panics as it is almost his turn. Then she calls for the next one in the line. He reminds himself that this is not the time to back down, because this is the first time he can talk, and he can keep her gaze all to himself. He cherishes moments like these and on what he lives for. He stutters a bit as he shows her his massive monostone. After that, she asks for his name. As he tells her, she tells him to wait while she is searching for something in the documents. Then, she realizes it is from the Golem subjugation quest and decides to examine the stone. Meanwhile, internally, he is rolling on the floor as he finds her extra cute today. He admits internally that her serious expression is so cute, and the way she is inspecting the monostone, he never thought he would be jealous of a stone. He finds her adorable as she closes her eyes. She looks so charming with her long eyelashes that it takes his breath away. He reflects that the monostone is a bit bigger than usual and notes she is observing from different angles with great precision. No matter what she is doing, he finds it charming. After a moment, she announces the inspection is done and offers him a check of 50 million gold. Then, he believes that the moment he will take the check, it will be goodbye for now. But deep down, he doesn't want it to end. However, he reminds himself that he can't keep her occupied more than this, and recalls that for 10 years they have been strictly business. Eventually, he believes he will be more casual with her. Then he holds the check she is giving him, and their hands touch each other. For him, the moment freezes. Even though he screams internally, he thanks her for the check, as his body is trembling, being overwhelmed. Internally, he prays for the check to be blessed, as because of it, he got to touch her hand. Therefore, he decides never to cash it, and plans to frame it in his house. With that, he tells her he would like to take another quest. She shows him the catalog for rank 10 adventurers, and he immediately selects his next quest. She calmly reminds him to bring the Mana Stone to her after completing the quest. Internally, he believes if they continue to have more moments like these, they will surely become friends soon. Then, he acknowledges her as he leaves. While walking away, he is determined to continue doing quests every day for the sake of meeting her. On the other hand, she holds the hand which touched his while thinking about something. Later that night, somewhere else, someone mentions they went to the capital to request a subjugation force, and adventurers will come here soon. The villagers are happy to hear that news, as they can't wait to see those monsters eliminated so they can feel a bit light. Meanwhile, a girl hearing this news nervously wonders about the subjugation force and adventurers. In a small village, Jade announces that monster subjugation is completed, so the village should be safe now. Internally, he reflects that today he is on another quest. One villager feels honored that the great hero accepted their request and suggests that he rest and enjoy his break there. He humbly appreciates the sentiment but says he needs to return to the capital for his next quest. However, internally, he cannot wait to go back and report to Garnet. Unexpectedly, a girl appears and states that it is not over yet. With a worried face, she reveals the vegetable-eating dragon is still out there. Jade, confused, repeats her words. The elder from earlier tries to stop the girl from saying such things. He apologizes to the hero, explaining that this girl sees dragons stealing vegetables. The small girl softly insists she is telling the truth and is not lying. After thinking for a bit, Jade leans towards her and asks where the dragon went. She points out to the mountains ahead and says the dragon went there. With that, Jade tells everyone he will investigate to see if there are any signs of dragons and asks them to relax. The little girl sincerely thanks him, while the elder tries to apologize for the trouble. He calmly shrugs it off and reminds them, this is the job of an adventurer. Eventually, he reaches an abandoned mine. He doubts that something as big as a dragon can hide there. He wonders if the villagers have mistaken a herbivore for a dragon stealing vegetables. Suddenly, he hears a deep voice warning him not to move any further. Still, he moves forward, curious to know where the voice is coming from. The voice tells him to leave any food he has, or else he will suffer its wrath. Jade finally finds the place the voice comes from. It's a small cottage. Inside, he finds a small girl sitting on the floor. This makes him wonder what she is doing here. He questions whether she is lost or if something odd is happening. He does not sense anyone else's presence and guesses that she must have been the voice he heard earlier. He recalls her earlier words about food and remembers what the villager girl said about a dragon stealing vegetables. A thought crosses his mind that dragons can take human form, so he wonders if this girl is a dragon. He leans in and asks the girl if she is a dragon. The little girl smirks and admits she has been found out. She switches to her wrathful mode, demanding that he leave all his food and go. She threatens that if he does not obey, she will devour him. Jade jokingly points out that she would choke if she did that. The little girl becomes embarrassed and yells that if she turns into her true form, then he would be bite-sized. He calmly mentions that he wants to ask her some questions before she eats him. He asks why a dragon would willingly take on the form of a human. She stutters at first, but then reveals her original body is so big that she cannot ever fill it. She explains that in her current form, she can survive for a few days with a single vegetable. Jade is shocked and thinks to himself that she is not much like a dragon at all and is actually sad. Next, the dragon girl reveals she wants to eat meat, but her small body cannot fight. He asks if it would not be easy to hunt in her dragon form. Nervously, the small girl reveals that back in the village, she has heard there is a bad group of people called adventurers. Since they hunt monsters, she thinks they will come after her as well. Jade asks if she only transforms into a dragon when she goes out to steal vegetables. She curiously asks how he knew that. He simply states a villager said they saw a dragon. The girl panics, stands up, and says she does not know when the adventurers will appear. At that moment, Jade grabs her arm and tells her to wait. The dragon feels warmth and wonders if this human is here to protect her. To her surprise, he reveals he is an adventurer. The little girl freezes as the word adventurer echoes in her head. After a moment, she screams loudly and begins running inside the cottage. He calms her down and assures her he does not hit young girls. When the little girl asks to confirm, he confidently assures her again. As she takes a breath in relief, he thinks she does not look like a bad girl. However, he feels he is in a tight spot because, as an adventurer, he cannot ignore the presence of a dragon. Then something comes to his mind. He asks if she is a white dragon since white dragons are protected by the country. He mentions that he would need to act if she were from another species. Something strikes the dragon's mind. As she steps outside the cottage, she reveals she is a white dragon and will prove it to him. From outside, the dragon yells at him to step out. As soon as he does, his eyes become fixed on the beautiful white dragon standing before him. After staring at her for a few seconds, he admits that she really is a white dragon. Later, inside the cottage, the dragon asks why white dragons are protected. Jade explains that their country was saved by a white dragon in the past. He shows her his memento sword, which has a white dragon engraved on it. The dragon is amazed and mentions they should be thankful to her ancestors. With that, the little girl decides to become a good dragon from now on. He suggests she meet the king and get herself a protection status, which will give her all the necessities she needs in life. The dragon immediately decides to go now, and Jade announces they will go straight to the capital. The next day, the dragon walks in the capital feeling happy and confident about the clothes she is wearing, which Jade bought for her. He feels good because she likes the clothes, as both walk behind a royal guard. They finally reach the meeting hall. At the entrance, he asks if she is ready. Though nervous, the dragon replies she is all set. They step inside, where the king, monarch of the Sundale Kingdom, is waiting for them. He recognizes Jade and says he knows why he is here. Surprisingly, the king thinks that Jade has finally decided to become his successor to lead the country. However, Jade feels a bit annoyed since he has not come for that and tries to find words for what he is about to ask. He states he has found a white dragon who can use transformation magic and is here for protection status. Looking at the white dragon, he finds her extremely nervous. She greets the king and mutters under stress that she is a harmless white dragon. She explains she can get dressed and eat by herself, and that she is intelligent and self-reliant. She goes pale and her body trembles as she adds she does not cause much trouble either. Jade thinks she just gave a stiff introduction. The king, after thinking for a bit, acknowledges her and mentions that their country owes very much to Jade and the White Dragons. However, he decides not to let a dragon roam in the capital like this. He believes he is in a tight spot as he considers what to do. The White Dragon becomes even more nervous. Seeing her hold her dress tightly, Jade believes that even though she is a dragon, she is still a child and cannot be left alone. He requests the king to allow him to take care of her. The dragon is amazed by Jade. Meanwhile, the king happily gives his approval. Later, outside, the white dragon sincerely thanks him for doing so much for her and says she will repay the favor with her life. Jade calmly tells her not to worry about that. He asks for her name. The white dragon, having no name, asks him to pick one for her. Confused, Jade asks if she is sure. He names her Dorami since she is a white dragon. Even though she thinks it is too simple, she happily accepts it. As they walk ahead, Dorami sings out her name, feeling wholesome. Eventually, they reach the Adventurers Guild, which makes Dorami stop. Looking at the guild makes her feel stressed because, for her, the place looks malicious. Jade decides to go inside since he needs to report that his quest is finished, and advises Dorami to behave well. She acknowledges instantly. Thinking about the adventurers, she goes pale and gets a bad feeling about this. Worried about Jade, she decides to peek in from the window. Inside, she finds him standing happily in front of Garnet. Seeing him smile like that, Dorami senses he is having so much fun, as if he has turned back into a kid. Looking at Garnet, she feels Garnet is a lovely person and watches her with amazement. Observing the guild building, Dorami now thinks that maybe the place is not bad after all. After a couple of minutes, Jade comes out and apologizes for making Dorami wait. He suggests they go home. Dorami beams, excited to go home. Unexpectedly, he reveals that he has not gone home for over a year. Dorami is shocked and asks if he has not been going home lately. He says he has been busy with quests, but now that she is with him, he will be home more often. This makes Dorami excited. With that, both of them reach their home, and Dorami steps inside excitedly. Meanwhile, one of Jade's neighbors realizes he has finally come back home tonight. With that, Jade and Dorami's new life begins. Jade recalls the past event where he took responsibility for caring for a white dragon named Dorami. Now, they are heading home. On the way, Dorami points out that he is a pretty cool guy and says she also found the guild super fun. He is glad to hear this from her. Dorami adds that he looked like he was enjoying himself a lot when he came out of the guild, which makes her believe the guild must be a fun place. For a moment, he is startled as thoughts of how gorgeous Garnet looked today fill his mind. In his thoughts, he reflects that Garnet was even more dazzling than yesterday. He quickly returns to reality when Dorami calls out to ask if they have arrived. He apologizes, explaining they will be there soon. While walking, Jade notes that nothing has changed here even though he is returning after a year. He is glad he still remembers how to get back home. He tells Dorami that his house is just beyond here. Finally, they arrive at Jade's heart-themed home. Dorami gets super excited while he smiles warmly. Seeing the huge heart on the roof, Dorami exclaims that his house is awesome. He acknowledges her praise humbly. Deep down, Jade reflects that the massive heart on the roof is his message to Garnet, while the heart on the door symbolizes his love for her. He thinks that when they start living together, he wants her to be showered with his love every time she opens that door. He blushes as he remembers this was the thought behind the house design, but he cannot reveal it to anyone. On the other hand, the carpenters who built his house cried, believing he chose that design to show love for the citizens and that he had a pure heart. Now in the present, Jade invites Dorami to come in. They step inside, and at the entrance he explains that the light comes from mana stones, which turn on the moment someone touches the door. Dorami admits it is a cool feature that the whole house lights up as soon as anyone steps inside. Next, they go to the bathroom, where Jade explains it was designed with comfort in mind. After a bad day, one can soak and wash away their worries. The bath is so big that Dorami even says she can use it in her true form. They move on to the bedroom. The bed, Jade describes, is made from the highest quality feathers and custom made from materials he collected. Doromi remarks that something so soft should be illegal, as it is too tempting to sleep on. Then she goes to the next room and is stunned as she wonders about the space. It turns out to be a walk-in closet. There, Doromi spots lots of cute clothes, and Jade reveals that this is only half of it. After that, Doromi notices something white. Jade explains these are wedding dresses, and there are a total of 28. Doromi picks one as her favorite and says it is so beautiful she wants someone to wear it. Only Jade knows all these are for Garnet, so whatever she wants to wear, it should be there. Even though he does not know her taste, this many clothes must cover everything. Doromi excitedly tells him she wants to see someone wear that dress and asks him to call his wife. Jade is caught off guard and confused. Doromi points out that these dresses must belong to his wife, and she wants to meet and thank her for letting him stay. He stands there speechless while Doromi keeps calling his name. It hits him hard, and he thinks he is behaving degenerately. He becomes confused, unsure whether he should tell Doromi about his crush on Garnet. He also realizes he has never told anyone this. Distracting her, he asks if she is hungry and suggests she take a bath before they eat. He adds that he will buy her anything she wants. Hearing this, Doromi gets excited, while Jade believes he has successfully distracted her. Now, Doromi enjoys her bath. She comes out afterward and remarks that the bath felt incredibly refreshing, and the temperature was perfect. She tells him it is a shame he does not come back to his house more, considering how nice it is. Jade reminds her that, as an adventurer, he has to prioritize his work. He then insists that she go to sleep early since they need to leave early tomorrow. Meanwhile, Doromi cannot wait to sleep on the soft, fluffy bed. On the other hand, Jade is blushing as he also cannot wait to experience sharing that bed with Garnet. The thought of waking up beside her makes him feel wholesome. He is fired up to keep going back to the guild so he can experience a good married life soon. After that, Doromi spots something and notices his neighbor coming out. Jade recalls that his neighbors are actually a lovely elderly couple, but to his surprise, Garnet is walking outside. He pauses, hardly believing his eyes. Internally, he screams while blushing, wondering what she is doing here. He completely loses it, trying to understand why she is his neighbor. He thought there was an elderly couple living there. He reminds himself to calm down, but is extremely happy, even though nothing makes sense. He decides to introduce himself. Meanwhile, Doromi greets Garnet first. This gives Jade a feeling of defeat. As nothing makes sense, he still thinks this is a perfect chance to have a normal conversation with Garnet. He begins greeting her, but he cannot stop stuttering and is unable to say good evening properly. Blushing, he admits he is super nervous, but is grateful for a closer look at her. He wonders if this is the first time he has seen her dressed casually, finding her absolutely stunning. Panicking, he decides to remember this moment forever. He tries to calm down, telling himself to stay focused since he needs to introduce himself. Garnet observes him without saying a word. Still stuttering, he finally manages to say good evening, and she greets him back. Internally, he screams, believing he just had a casual conversation with her. Imagining their wedding, he thinks this is the start of their romance. Surprisingly, Garnet mentions she has finally managed to greet him. This makes Jade wonder if she also wanted to talk to him. She then states she just moved here and wanted to introduce herself to the neighbors. Now Jade fully understands. He knows Garnet is his neighbor, which gives him even more reason to come back home every day. While holding his head, fully absorbed in his thoughts, Doromi grabs him and reminds him she is hungry, insisting they should buy some food. Garnet then asks if Doromi is his sister. He replies that she is just a relative, and Doromi introduces herself with a cute smile. Garnet greets her and says her own name. After that, Jade also introduces himself. Garnet reveals she already knows his name since he comes to the guild every day. Her words make him feel blissful, admitting to himself that it is the happiest day of his life that she remembers his name. He bows and thanks her for remembering, as he had thought she did not since she always asks his name at the reception. However, Garnet explains that it is guild policy to ask every time. This makes Jade believe that even though he goes to her counter regularly, she still follows the rules, which makes her the perfect receptionist. After a moment of silence, Jade starts sweating as he runs out of topics. He stands and offers to carry her bag, but Garnet reveals it is light since the only thing inside is her underwear. Embarrassed, he did not expect that and wonders if he looks like a pervert. Doromi then asks Garnet where she is heading with her underwear. Garnet reveals she is going to the baths, as there are none in her house. Jade is grateful Doromi asked that, hoping she would invite Garnet to their bath and tell her how great it is. Unfortunately, Doromi simply waves and tells her to be careful. Internally, Jade screams. He then sees Garnet walking away and admits to himself that she looks perfect from behind as well. Seeing him smile at her, Doremi bluntly asks if he loves Garnet. He casually admits that he does, but then stops mid-sentence, realizing he just said it aloud. He panics and tries to take it back, but Doremi tells him not to be embarrassed. She confidently says she also loves him and is not embarrassed about it. Jade freaks out, asking if she really loves him. Doremi proudly says he helped her out, so of course she loves him. He realizes her love is like puppy love in return for feeding her. Doremi then asks if Garnet has helped him in some way. Jade says that since she is a guild receptionist, she has helped him many times since he became an adventurer. Doremi suggests he give Garnet a flower as thanks for everything. When she sees him confused, she explains that Garnet smelled a little earthy, so her hobby must be gardening. Jade is stunned, realizing this is the first good advice anyone has given him. He is now eager to find a rare flower to give Garnet as a gift, and Doremi is just as excited. Later, both arrive at the deserted plains. Doremi asks how much farther they need to walk, and Jade says just a bit more. He reflects that today's quest is to subjugate a king scorpion, but they are not done yet. A moment later, they reach their destination, and he tells Doremi to look up. There, a huge tree, the World Tree, stands before them. Their true objective is the World Tree. Doremi is stunned by its size. Seeing the huge walls beside it, she wonders if the World Tree is someone's castle. Jade explains those are not walls but cuffs, and the tree is at the top. At the base of the World Tree, they will find the Starflower. Jade recalls that for the past 2 weeks, he has been visiting different flower shops to find the best flower for a present. He learned that the Starflower is the best choice. He cannot believe the Starflower only blooms in such a place and is so rare that even shops do not have it. Doremi wonders if they must climb the cliff to get the flower. Jade reveals there is a regular path, but it takes more than a week to reach. Internally, he wants to hurry and give the flower to Garnet, believing she will be very happy. Now both raise their hands, fired up to climb the cliff and pick the Starflower before heading home. With that, Jade starts climbing the cliff with Doremi on his shoulders. She is amazed by how fast he is climbing, admitting that holding onto his shoulders is easier than flying. Jade assures her she does not need to transform into a dragon since he is here to help. Doremi admits he is so reliable, and Jade reminds her to hold on tight, as they will be there soon. Unexpectedly, they hear a loud scream from above the cliff. Jade pauses for a moment and wonders what is happening up there. Doremi urges him to hurry, thinking something is going on above. As our hero senses something is happening above, he instructs Doremi to hold onto him tightly because he will be going at full speed. Doremi acknowledges and Jade accelerates, reaching the top in an instant. She lands on the ground and stops as someone screams again. She calls for him, informing him that a huge hornworm is attacking 2 girls ahead. Meanwhile, both girls have lost hope. On the other hand, he decides to act quickly. As the worm is about to attack, he arrives and slams it into the ground hard. Now, the dead body of the worm lies between the 2 girls and Jade, who realizes he arrived just in time. At that moment, the 2 girls start crying because they can't believe they are still alive. They thank him repeatedly. The short-haired girl notes that they were saved by Jade and thanks him sincerely. Her long-haired friend reveals that even her barrier was useless against the worm. Jade casually responds that it is nothing, saying instead that he is thankful to them. The 2 girls shout in confusion, and then he reveals that he is here for the flowers. When they turn around, they spot a bunch of starflowers. They realize he means the Starflower, and he confirms with a warm smile. He explains that since the girls made a defensive barrier, the flowers are unharmed, so he thanks both of them sincerely. This amazes and surprises the 2 girls at the same time. They thank him in return, saying it was a dream for them to help him. With that, the 2 ladies leave while waving, and Jade waves back. Next, Doremi smiles brightly and admits that he was super cool back there. After he thanks her, he feels grateful that the flowers are fine. They put one inside a soil pot, and Doremi notes that it has started to bloom. He suggests they go home, saying he can't wait to give the flower to Garnet. Doremi chuckles, equally excited, and he hopes that Garnet will like the flower. Unfortunately, when they return home, they find that the Starflower has already withered. Both of them stare at it with lifeless faces. Jade cannot figure out what happened, since it was fine until now. Before he can fall apart, Doremi suggests giving the flower some water. He waters the flower, and Doremi believes this will solve everything, but nothing happens. Doremi observes that the flower still didn't revive, and he hopelessly wonders what else they can try. Doremi innocently suggests they should cheer it on. Jade agrees, believing that a little encouragement might help. Both of them cheer for the flower, telling it that it can do it, that it can fight, and saying it is the best flower ever and it's not over yet. Still, the flower remains unchanged. Jade loses hope, but Doremi keeps thinking. She suggests they give the flower to Garnet before it withers completely. He protests giving a withered flower, but Doremi nervously says it is not completely dead and there is a chance that Garnet can help, since she knows a lot about flowers. After thinking, Jade reluctantly decides to give it to her, and Doremi cheers him on. Together, they go straight to Garnet's house and knock on her door. Getting no answer, he thinks that maybe Garnet is out taking a bath, so he decides to wait. Then he asks Doremi if they will scare Garnet when she finds them waiting there. Doremi protests, saying that since Jade is her neighbor, there is no reason for Garnet to be frightened. He then asks if he looks scary, and Doremi shakes her head. He insists that he is not a scary person, and Doremi suggests he say it louder. When he does, Garnet arrives, asking what the two of them are doing there. She stands in front of them in her casual dress, and both Jade and Doremi notice her hair is still wet, showing she just came from the shower. He sings inwardly about how beautiful she looks with wet hair, and thinks he could stare at her forever, but right now he has something more important to do. Both he and Doremi bow respectfully, apologizing and saying they did not mean to disturb her. Garnet says it is fine since they both seem to be having fun. Jade feels himself falling for her even more, thinking she now looks like an angel. He then bends a bit to pick up the flower and confidently gives Garnet the starflower, asking her to accept this gift from him and Doremi. Garnet points out that the gift should be given by the one who moved in. Although Jade agrees internally, he states that they give housewarming gifts in his hometown. He apologizes for giving her a withered flower, explaining he saw it and found it beautiful, but it withered by the time they got home. Garnet moves closer and observes the flower, which makes Jade notice her face is quite close. After looking at it, Garnet realizes it's a starflower. Doremi is surprised to see she knows about these and asks if she likes them. Garnet reveals she loves them. The word love makes Jade fantasize as if he is standing under fireworks, but he calms himself, reminding himself she is only talking about the flower. He asks if she can fix it. Unfortunately, Garnet, with a sad expression, reveals she cannot do anything since the flower needs nutrients from the world tree, and once removed, it can no longer stay healthy. This makes Jade regret not knowing how the flowers live. He feels sorry for the flower and for not researching enough. Garnet apologizes for not being able to help, but Jade shrugs it off, saying it is not her fault. He apologizes to her for even thinking of giving such a gift. Garnet states that she does not mind the gift and asks if she can have the flower. Jade is stunned and asks if she really wants it, even though it is completely withered. Garnet nods calmly. Seeing Jade not reacting, she asks if that's a no. He gives her the flower, thinking at least it can enjoy its last company. Surprisingly, Garnet tells him she doesn't need the pot. Jade then asks if she only wants the flower. Garnet reveals she plans to press the flower and turn it into a bookmark, wanting to preserve its natural beauty. Jade is amazed, and internally he rolls on the ground, knowing Garnet will turn his gift into a bookmark. He thanks Garnet sincerely, but she asks why he is being thankful, since he is the one giving her the gift. He corrects himself, saying that actually the flower wants to thank her. Garnet smiles faintly. Holding the flower, she tells it that it is very welcome, as she will treasure it forever. Jade blushes deeply and decides to leave, saying goodnight, and Garnet says goodnight in return. She also thanks him for the housewarming gift. Jade blushes again, welcomes her, and leaves with Doremi. On their way back, Doremi asks if their plan was a success. Jade feels relieved that everything went smoothly and believes it is all thanks to Doremi. Doremi happily mentions that he will help her, and she will help him, so she thinks he can depend on her. As he decides to depend on her, he offers to treat her to whatever she wants. Doremi's eyes sparkle as she enthusiastically says she wants to eat fish. The next day, inside the guild, Garnet is holding the starflower bookmark. Her colleagues spot her. One remarks that the bookmark is pretty cute, while another asks if she has used it before. Garnet shakes her head, explaining she received some flowers recently and, finding them beautiful, turned them into a bookmark. One colleague is amazed to learn the bookmark is handmade and says the flower looks pretty. Another asks who gave her the flowers. Garnet pauses and recalls Jade's face, which makes her blush a bit. She tells her colleagues that the flowers are from her neighbor, then leaves while her colleagues discuss what her neighbor might be like. It has been half a month since Jade gave flowers to Garnet, and today he is on a quest. Now he and Doremi are running toward the guild. As they reach the Royal Capital Guild Hall, he wipes off his sweat, relieved to have made it in time. Upon heading inside, he instructs Doromi to wait for a bit. She acknowledges this, deciding to count bugs until he returns. Stepping into the guild, he prepares himself because it is time to go to Garnet's reception on the 18th. He finally approaches Garnet and shows her his manstone. Internally, he screams, finding her appearance fantastic. When Garnet asks his name, he tells her. She then requests him to wait a moment, confirming that the stone is from the Chimera subjugation quest. As she begins to inspect it, their conversation is interrupted by a strange sound coming from her side. A moment of silence passes between them. He wonders about the source of the sound and, upon seeing Garnet's embarrassed face, realizes it came from her stomach. He finds her expression adorable, noticing the blush on her face, but decides this is not the time to get excited. He considers breaking the tension with a light remark, perhaps saying she shouldn't worry because Doromi is always hungry. Quickly, he rejects that idea. While he ponders his next move, he notes that Garnet is nearly finished with her inspection. He wonders if it would be better to pretend he heard nothing. In the next moment, Garnet hands him a check for 30 million gold, and he thanks her. He then turns to leave, telling her he will come back the next day for another quest. As he steps out of the guild, he reflects that if he asked for the next quest now, her stomach would probably growl again. Outside, Doromi spots him and proudly announces that she counted 18 bugs today, setting a new record. After congratulating her, he decides to eat out in celebration. Doromi grows excited at the idea, though he notes that they always eat outside. Later, they enter a restaurant, causing Doromi to beam with excitement. Surprisingly, no one else is there, and she believes they will have the place to themselves. He feels slightly embarrassed, admitting that even though he chose this place, it has been years since his last visit. Before taking custody of Doromi, he hardly ever went to restaurants. Still, he remembers the stew contains plenty of meat and the seafood is good. Doromi decides to order stew. The restaurant owner arrives and recognizes Jade, surprised to see him again. Jade insists there's no need for modesty, adding that the amazing aroma proves how great the place is. The owner smiles, obviously flattered. Doromi then introduces herself, revealing her fondness for stew. She requests a large serving of meat, while Jade opts for seafood. He mentions that the herbs used previously tasted great. The owner confirms their order and adds that Jade is lucky, as they are almost out of the seafood plate. Then the owner heads off to prepare their food. After a few minutes, their meal arrives, a large serving of stew and an herb-grilled seafood plate. Both Jade and Doromi find the food visually appealing and begin eating immediately. Their first bites satisfy them completely. He notes how the fresh aroma of herbs envelopes the fish, making it especially delicious, while Doromi finds the meat exceptionally tasty. Suddenly, a new customer enters the restaurant. The owner welcomes the person, explaining that they can sit anywhere due to the lack of other customers. The newcomer sits right beside Jade, and unexpectedly it is Garnet. He blushes immediately, wondering why she is there. He even speculates if she followed him to have dinner together, but soon hears her order her usual meal, realizing she is just a regular customer here. Still, he can't help but wonder what she usually orders. Unexpectedly, the owner apologizes to Garnet, explaining that the seafood platter is sold out. He panics upon realizing she orders the seafood platter regularly. Jade feels guilty for having taken the last one, depriving her of one of her few after-work pleasures. Garnet simply says it is a shame, but her disappointment makes him feel even worse. He gets up right away and asks the owner if he can go find some fish. Garnet looks shocked, and the owner murmurs in disbelief, saying he appreciates the sentiment, but cannot let Jade run errands for the restaurant. Internally, Jade knows he is only doing this for Garnet, since she won't be satisfied otherwise. He insists, holding the owner's hands, that he shouldn't be so modest and offers to cover the costs himself. He says he is just in the mood to buy fish and wants to know where he can get some. Unfortunately, the owner reveals that it isn't possible to buy any from the market at the moment. Jade asks if something happened. The owner explains that rumors say a coastal monster is roaming the shoreline, causing fishing boats to sink in the area. Jade frowns, realizing this must be the work of a monster. Meanwhile, Doromi bangs on the table, lamenting that it is unforgivable for a monster to keep all the fish to itself. She adds that she also wanted to eat the seafood plate. Jade agrees, finding it unacceptable that Garnet is being deprived of one of her simple pleasures. He asks Garnet if there is a subjugation request for the monster. Garnet remembers and confirms that there is indeed a rank 6 subjugation quest open for it. Because it is a rank 6 task, Jade realizes he never saw it before, as each adventurer is assigned quests matching their rank. This one is set for rank 6 adventurers, while he is rank 10. He also knows that if a request remains open too long, it can be reassigned to the next level, but this one would take too long to reach him. As a rank 10, it would set a bad precedent if he broke the rules to take a lower ranking quest. He then considers whether he could solve the problem another way. If he goes fishing and the monster attacks him, he could defeat it in self-defense without breaking any guild rules. With this plan, he feels motivated to head to the ocean so Garnet can enjoy her favorite seafood again. The next day, Doromi and Jade arrive at the coastal area, where many birds are flying overhead. When Doromi sees a huge villa, she asks if it belongs to him. She thinks it looks like a castle. Jade explains that he bought it 2 years ago and expects it to be dusty inside. Doromi asks why he even has a villa in a port city. Smiling, he reveals that the sunsets here are beautiful. He recalls coming here on a quest, looking over the horizon and seeing the setting sun. At that moment, he thought that if Garnet saw the view, she would be enchanted and become romantic, leading to a kiss. The thought makes him blush and cover his face. He reflects that he bought the villa on impulse, spending quite a lot, and knows he can't tell anyone the real reason. He opens the door, and Doremi comments that he must really like sunsets. Jade points out the fishing equipment laid out before them, explaining that he bought the set with Garnet in mind, hoping to enjoy fishing together. He even bought a third rod in case they have a child. Excited to finally use the gear, he prepares for the day. Doremi asks if he will use the rod to catch the monster, but he replies that it is only for fishing. He adds that it may take some time for the monster to appear, so he plans to pass the time by fishing. Deep down, he hopes to catch a specific fish so the owner can cook yesterday's dish again, and he can have a casual dinner with Garnet. He believes Garnet's affection for him will grow if he mentions catching the fish himself. With that, he tells Doromi to head to the harbor. At the fishing harbor, he feels the tense atmosphere among the people, noticing the stress on their faces. He suspects they are all affected by the sea monster. Doromi waves, announcing that their boat has arrived. Upon seeing it, she asks if it is one of those small boats with boom tents, and Jade confirms it is. He explains that it's perfect for watching the sunset while sailing, and that he bought it along with the villa. Doromi realizes he truly loves sunsets, but Jade is only interested in seeing how Garnet looks in the afterglow. He then suggests Doromi step inside the boat. As she is about to board, someone behind them yells, "Not to go out to sea." Jade supports Doromi, who nearly falls, and both turn to see a group of people glaring at them furiously. When our hero asks why they can't go, an elderly man explains that 15 moons ago a kraken was spotted, so he believes sailing now would be extremely dangerous. Jade, however, still wants to go out to sea. The elderly man, realizing he will not be dissuaded, adds that perhaps the small size of Jade's boat will help, as the kraken may not notice them. Hearing this, Jade's plan of using his boat as bait feels pointless now. He reasons that if he cannot use the boat as intended, searching for the monster himself would take too long. Since he cannot be away from Garnet for very long, he places a large pile of money in front of the group. Then, pointing at a large ship, he proposes borrowing it, offering a deal that would be hard for anyone to refuse. The elderly man reveals that the ship belongs to him, and no amount of money will convince him to let anyone use it. Jade insists, promising to pay the full price if the ship is damaged. Meanwhile, Doromi tells the old man how strong Jade is. The crowd suddenly realizes he is the hero, Jade, and they also recognize the sword he carries. One fisherman asks if he is there to eliminate the monster. Jade explains that he is only there for fishing, as his rank is too high for this subjugation request. However, if he is fishing and the monster attacks him, he will have the right to defend himself, and the guild will not object. The old man, shocked, asks if Jade is truly planning to use himself as bait, even without compensation, and wonders why he would go so far. At that moment, Doromi beams and says they are just returning the favor. She adds that the fish here taste so good that they want to thank everyone for what they have done. The fishermen are touched by this, amazed that even a hero would think of them. The elderly man, moved, gives Jade permission to use the ship freely. With that, Doromi and Jade set out to sea with the ship. Once in the ocean, Doromi notes that nothing seems to be going their way. Jade suggests fishing, and Doromi gets excited at the chance to catch a big fish. Time passes with no luck, and both start to feel bored. Eventually, Jade catches something. After reeling it in, he finds it's only a small fish, but Doromi finds it tasty. This makes her determined not to lose to him. As more time passes, Jade manages to catch a total of 5 fish, which leaves Doromi wondering if the fish actually hate her. Jade suggests they switch spots, believing she's just in a bad place for fishing. Unexpectedly, Doromi's rod moves and she gets excited, thinking she has caught a huge fish that will fill her up for a week. Eagerly, she pulls her rod. To her shock, a huge monster appears and she screams in panic. Jade quickly realizes that this is the monster. When Doromi asks what it is, he explains that it's a marine scorpion, but its size is abnormal. Doromi starts throwing rocks at it, yelling for it to go away, but her efforts have no effect. The monster begins attacking their ship. Panicking, Doromi cries out that at this rate, their ship will sink. Jade reassures her, revealing that he has already fortified the ship with magic. All that remains is to defeat the monster. He leaps and punches the monster hard, defeating it instantly. Then he returns to the ship. Later, as they come ashore, everyone watches them in awe. The fishermen sincerely thank him, grateful that they can now fish in peace. Jade shrugs it off, but then the crowd turns to Doromi, discussing how she was the one who caught the monster, and they thank her as well. Meanwhile, Jade is eager to return home, knowing Garnet will finally be able to enjoy seafood again. Back in the capital, Doromi says she is hungry. Jade suggests they eat at the restaurant again. As they walk there, he reflects that Garnet should be there, as she is the type to enjoy her food thoroughly. To his surprise, he spots her standing in the street. He immediately calls out to her, which makes Garnet remark on his energy. He proudly admits that it's his only redeeming feature. Internally, he feels glad to be able to talk casually with his crush. He tells Garnet that their meeting is a coincidence and asks if she is heading home. When she nods, Jade mentions that he just returned from a fishing trip and shows her the fish he caught. Doromi adds that she caught a monster on the ship. When Garnet says that must have been scary, Doromi replies that she calmed herself by throwing rocks at it. Garnet says it's good to be prepared with rocks. Doromi proudly says she always carries rocks, so she is always ready to fight. She then describes how the monster tried to cut the ship with its massive claws. Garnet admits that they were in a very dangerous situation. Doromi continues, saying she kept her cool while staring into the monster's eyes. After that, Garnet asks Jade if he was the one who defeated the monster. He nods and adds that seafood shipments will resume from tomorrow. Garnet feels relieved to hear this. She then asks if he will go to the guild tomorrow. Jade nods, mentioning that he couldn't go today, but will go tomorrow. Unexpectedly, Garnet asks if something is wrong. Jade shakes his head and reminds her that he said he was going to take a quest today. Garnet says she remembers, which is why she was worried something might have happened. Panicked, he asks if she was truly worried about him. She asks if that is really surprising. Jade blushes, pointing out that she knows he is the hero and a rank 10 adventurer. He is stunned, as he never expected anyone to worry about him, but now he learns that Garnet was actually concerned. He then wonders if she thinks he is unreliable. Surprisingly, Garnet shakes her head and says she doesn't see him as Jade the hero, but more like her little brother. After a pause, Jade asks if she thinks of him as family, but she shakes her head again and repeats that he is just like a little brother. Curiously, he asks why she thinks that. Internally, he is certain he has never done anything to make her see him that way. Garnet explains that she has been watching him grow since he was 12. Now, Jade understands why she acts more casually in private. Still, this makes him happy. He feels lonely when everyone treats him like a hero and puts him on a pedestal, so he is grateful to have people who see him as a normal person. Reality soon hits him, and he realizes that if Garnet sees him as a little brother, he may have no chance with her. Still, he reminds himself not to give up hope since they aren't related by blood. He asks where she plans to go, and Garnet reveals she is heading to a restaurant for dinner. Jade asks if she is going to the same one as yesterday, and when she confirms, he reveals they are also going there. He says they will ask the owner to cook the fish they caught, and invite her to try some too. Garnet asks if he is sure. He nods confidently, saying they caught plenty of fish, so she would be helping them by joining. Garnet feels happy to help. With that, he announces they will go eat together. Walking beside her, Jade notices how wonderful Garnet smells. He admits to himself that she always looks beautiful up close, but there's something captivating about seeing her from the side. Walking shoulder to shoulder, he feels as if they are on a date. He wonders what he can do to make this moment last forever. They arrive at the restaurant in just a few seconds. Jade decides that he wants to become a regular so he can eat with Garnet every day. Doromi happily announces their arrival to the owner, who welcomes everyone. Doromi then tells him they caught some fish, which leaves the owner stunned as he asks if they really went out to sea. Jade nods, stating that after defeating the monster, getting fish will be easy. Doromi requests the owner cook the fish right away. The owner thanks them and unexpectedly mentions that today will be his last day cooking something delicious. Jade is confused. Garnet steps forward and offers the owner a flower bouquet. Jade wonders if today is the owner's birthday. Garnet sincerely thanks him for all the delicious food he has cooked over the years. As the owner accepts the flowers, he thanks her, but Jade still feels something is off, as it doesn't seem like a birthday celebration. He finally asks what's going on. The old owner explains that he has grown old, having run the restaurant for 50 years and has decided to move to the countryside to live with his daughter and her husband. Jade is shocked, especially since he just planned to eat here with Garnet every day to get closer to her. Meanwhile, Doromi gives the owner a stone. Jade then offers his money as a retirement fund, but the old man says the gesture is more than enough. As they wait for their food, Jade notes how close he and Garnet are sitting, their elbows touching. He thinks it's a pity that this is happening just as the restaurant is closing. Seeing his expression, Garnet asks why he is crying. Jade says he feels sad about the restaurant's closure. Garnet points out that this is the second time she has seen him today. He explains he became a fan of the seafood after eating here yesterday. The owner arrives with their food, pleased to hear how much Jade enjoys it. As soon as they take their first bites, both Jade and Doromi find it delicious. Garnet observes them with a warm smile. All three share a brief, happy moment together. One evening, after completing another quest, Doromi is waiting for Jade in the streets. There, a group of small kids ask Doromi about the kind of adventure she went on today. She proudly states she and Jade went to eliminate a Hydra. Although it was scary, they faced it head-on. She explains that she was just watching Jade's back while he defeated the monster in a single blow. All the kids get excited as they find them cool. Therefore, they demand more stories to hear. When Doromi starts telling another story, Jade appears as he mutters her name from behind. Doromi comments that he has finished reporting the quest already, but seeing his shocked face makes her yell at him, wondering what's gotten into him. Moving back to a couple of minutes ago, Doromi happily announced they have finished with another quest. Therefore, she suggested they head to the guild and inform Garnet. Jade looked happy thinking about Garnet. He believed his life has gotten upgraded because he can now hold casual conversations with her. He thought that maybe a day would come when he would ask her out. They reached the guild as Jade instructed Doromi to wait for him outside. Then, Doromi decided to tell the others about their adventure. Jade noted she has become popular with the other kids. Inside the guild, he finds Garnet looking absolutely stunning. He reflected that in the past, he would have been nervous just trying to say a single word to her, but now things have changed. With a cool attitude, Jade tells her his name and informs her he has finished the quest as he shows her the Monostone. Garnet asks him to wait a bit. Deep down, he is so proud of himself for being so cool under pressure. As he is observing Garnet, who starts observing the stone, she coughs. He wonders if she coughed, but when she coughs again, Jade figures she is indeed coughing. He freezes as he wonders if she is not feeling well. He becomes overprotective of her, thinking she looks in great pain and wondering if this is one of those dangerous diseases. He is worried so much. Meanwhile, Garnet completes the inspection and offers him 25 million gold. Jade immediately leaves as he thanks her, adding he will come tomorrow for the next quest. Garnet acknowledges him as she coughs again. He steps outside, reflecting that he didn't want to bother her by asking questions when she was working, but he thinks it might be their last farewell. Now in the present, Doromi spots him and asks what's wrong with him. As he tells her everything, Doromi makes a sad face. Then, Jade decides to find a medicine which can cure any kind of illness in an instant. Doromi asks if that kind of medicine even exists. Even though Jade doesn't know, he still wants to find some. He says he can't just sit idly when someone is suffering right in front of his eyes. Meanwhile, the kids get excited to see Jade the hero. Doromi, being worried about Garnet's health, is also ready to help. Jade thanks her, while Doromi mentions Garnet is her friend too, so she will help. After that, Jade states he has set aside 1 billion gold. Now they only need someone skilled in making those kinds of medicines. With that, they head to the apothecary. Stepping inside, Doromi sees a number of jars preserving eyeballs. This scares her to death as she screams loudly. She cries, yelling they need to get out of this place as soon as possible or they will be cut into pieces. However, Jade assures her as he explains this is all for medicinal purposes. Doromi goes pale as she believes they are going to need her body to make things. Jade calmly says she will be fine, plus she has a protection status from the country. When Doromi finally calms down, someone from behind whispers in her ear, asking her identity. As Doromi turns, she sees that the person behind her is carrying an instrument which is fully covered with blood along with her apron. Doromi screams in fear while the apron girl asks if she is lost or something. In fear, Doromi stutters as she demands that the apron girl not get near her because she doesn't taste good. That apron girl calmly apologizes for scaring her. She explains she was busy dissecting some monsters and asks if she wants to watch. Right then, Jade calls the apron girl Shurin as he greets her. Surin realizes it's Jade and is a bit stunned that he still remembers her. Then, Jade states that the time when Ku gave her lecture on making meds left a vivid impression on him. After that, Jade introduces Surin, the shopkeeper's granddaughter, to Doromi. He adds that Ku is the physician who is the owner of this place. Surin asks what's his purpose for coming to the shop. Jade explains that they need medicine and need Ku to make some. He asks if she isn't here today. Unfortunately, Surin reveals that her grandmother retired and left for the countryside. Thinking about the old restaurant owner, Jade wonders if housing is cheaper in the countryside. While thinking, Jade says that this is a problem, as Ku is the one who can blend perfectly. Fortunately, Surin reveals that she can now make almost any medicine, which startles Jade. He thinks that Surin is trained under Ku, so as long as it's her, she should be able to make the medicine. The next moment, Jade bows as he explains there is a girl who is suffering in pain, so he is begging her to save her life. Surin confidently says he can leave it to her. Next, she asks if that girl is suffering from full-body paralysis. She wants to know what that girl's symptoms are. While recalling how Garnet coughed, Jade states she has a cough and she keeps holding her throat while frowning her eyebrows. Then, Surin simply says he can grab a cough medicine from the shelf. Jade yells, asking if those are specially made. Surin shakes her head, stating they are typically run-of-the-mill cough medicine. Jade protests as he just can't go with a typical medicine. He adds it's not a typical cough. Surin asks if she was vomiting blood. Jade shakes his head and states she is coughing a lot. When Surin asks if this is all, Jade nods. After turning her head, Surin insists she doesn't need any medicine then. Jade gets shocked, asking if she can't do anything. Surin states clearly she won't be of any help. Still, Jade begs her to save Garnet. After taking a brief pause, Surin finally decides to do something for him. When Jade thanks her sincerely, she shrugs it off and asks about any other thing he has noted. He states that Garnet looked a bit fatigued. Therefore, Surin recommends taking a medicine which stops her croup and removes her fatigue. With that, she starts making something like that right now. Meanwhile, Jade and Doromi tell her to ask anything if she needs help. Then, Surin asks Doromi to grab her a bottle. Grabbing that bottle, Doromi wonders about the red juice inside it. Unexpectedly, Surin reveals it's dragon blood. It scares Doromi to death. Watching her acting like that, Surin asks what happened to her. Jade apologizes, explaining Doromi is sensitive with that kind of stuff. Meanwhile, Doromi is crying, yelling that she already knew this place was bad news. Therefore, she gets advice for waiting outside. After some time, Surin announces the medicine has been made. She has made a cough suppressant and something to treat fatigue. Both Doromi and Jade look happy. After thanking her, Jade asks how much it is for. Surin reveals it costs 30,000 gold and Jade gets stunned. Surin explains that ordinary stuff would have cost him 2,000 gold, but as this medicine has rarer ingredients, it costs much more. However, Jade is stunned because he didn't expect something like this would only cost 30,000 gold. He likes the medicine, and Surin thanks him for his patronage. With that, Jade along with Doromi heads to Garnet's house. Standing right in front of her house, Jade decides to deliver the medicine to her. If she is not inside, then they will just wait outside. Hearing the word outside, Doromi recalls that the other day, he thought Garnet would think of him as a weirdo for waiting outside her house. But Jade says that things are different now. As he knocks at her door, he believes that her treatment takes priority, so he doesn't care what she thinks of him. Suddenly, Garnet opens the door. Jade blushes and gets relief seeing her alive. Meanwhile, Garnet gets surprised seeing him but wishes him good evening. After greeting her back, Jade requests her to take the medicine, which is effective in countering cough and fatigue. She curiously asks why he is giving it to her. He states he has seen her coughing at work and insists she drink this before it's too late. Meanwhile, Doromi suggests taking it all in one sip. But surprisingly, Garnet reveals she doesn't need it as she is feeling better. Jade gets stunned as he asks if she had the cure all along. Garnet shakes her head as she admits she got better on her own, as it was just a fish bone stuck in her throat. Now Jade gets the full picture, but he thought she was really sick. Then Garnet mentions she didn't know he was that worried about her. Putting on a serious face, Jade admits he was worried because she is special. He pauses mid-sentence while Garnet repeats his words to know what he means. Right then, while blushing, he changes the sentence and adds that she is a special receptionist to the guild. A brief moment of silence passes. Then Jade panics inside, thinking he almost confessed to her. He believes he needs to confess after knowing each other better. He starts explaining to Garnet that there are many receptionists at the guild, but she is different. She is the receptionist he is fond of the most. He adds that it's the same reason why she gave flowers to the old man at her favorite restaurant. Blushing a bit, Garnet decides to accept it. She asks if it's all right for her to still accept the medicine. He panically asks if she is still sick. She shakes her head, revealing it's not her, but her flowers that need it. Noting in his head that she likes gardening, he gives the medicine to her. Holding the medicine bottle, she decides to use it right away. As she turns away, she asks him to come inside to see the flowers she is raising. Jade gets stunned, wondering if she is inviting him over. Garnet mentions the flowers are just upstairs. Seeing Jade getting surprised, she asks if it is that surprising. Internally, he admits that it is because the woman he loves is inviting him to her house. However, he also tries to calm himself down. With that, both Doromi and Jade head in. As they step in, Jade reminds himself to calm down and think straight. He believes if he keeps acting all weird, then Garnet will definitely be creeped out. Seeing her living room, Jade finds her place amazing. He can't believe he is actually at her place. Seeing her dining table, he imagines having dinner at that very table. Meanwhile, Doromi spots two flowers in poor condition. She says they need to hurry up and save them, while Jade hopes the medicine will work. Garnet puts the medicine in the soil. In just a couple of seconds, the flowers turn healthy. Jade remarks that the flowers look like they are revived, while Doromi excitedly comments that Surin's medicine is pretty good. Garnet is also glad to see the flowers looking healthy. Jade internally thanks Surin sincerely. Garnet turns to them as she thanks them for helping her. Both of them shrug it off. Soon, Doromi's stomach growls, and then she reveals her tummy is empty. Learning this, Garnet states she was thinking about going out for dinner. She adds she is trying to look for a new favorite restaurant. Therefore, she asks if they are willing to join her. Jade agrees instantly, but he also asks if she is fine with that. Garnet says she doesn't see any problem. Internally, Jade jumps as he is happy that Garnet is inviting him for dinner. Seeing him smile like that, Garnet gets curious about it, but Jade covers it up by saying he is just too hungry. With that, Garnet turns as she suggests they head out. Putting on a warm smile, Jade agrees. A few days later, Jade, lying in his bed, recalls the time he spent with Garnet. It was amazing. Not only did they talk casually, but they had dinner together as well. He thinks about today so much that it has become hard for him to get some sleep. He believes they are going along quite well. Suddenly, he hears a heavy sound which makes him get up. Doromi, beside him, also gets up wondering about the sound. Jade observes the sound is not coming from his house, but from the outside. Realizing something, he starts running towards Garnet, asking if she is fine. Surprisingly, Garnet bursts in. While sweating, she requests him to help her out. She tells him to check the second-floor bedroom. Seeing her feeling scared to death, Jade believes that there is indeed something going on. He frowns, wondering if it could be a robber. Willing to help her, he reveals he came here for that in the first place. He tells her to stay close, as he thinks this area is still dangerous. He also instructs Doromi to protect Garnet. Then he goes straight to Garnet's house. Internally, he decides to eliminate the person who came here if they steal something from his beloved's house. He reaches the bedroom as Garnet asked him to. Inside, the bedroom is full of clothes spread on the floor. Seeing the mess, Doromi asks Garnet if she is bad at cleaning. But Garnet mentions it is usually tidier than this. Jade grits his teeth, wondering if she has fought the attacker here. This makes him furious as he thinks it's dirty to attack her in the middle of the night. In order to find the attacker, he searches the room for clues. After searching everything, he concludes there is no one. Then Garnet points out they must be under the bed. Jade gets surprised. As he lifts the bed, he doubts something big could hide under it. But to his surprise, as soon as he lifts the bed, something comes out and instantly moves to another direction. Jade grows confused. Garnet screams and then holds Doromi tightly in fear. Doromi assures her as she mentions she is right next to her, which makes Garnet think she is very reliable. Seeing them, Jade gets jealous as he also wants to comfort Garnet. Seeing the culprit, Jade finds out it's nothing but just a spider. Garnet says spiders are scary, and Doromi agrees. She reveals that one day she ate a spider and got a tummy ache. Seeing Garnet in shock, Jade decides to deal with the spider. But as soon as he begins reaching for it, the spider runs and hides under Garnet's clothes. He thinks that hiding under her clothes is nothing but pure unfairness. The thought of touching her clothes drives him crazy, as it will be way too stimulating for him. Seeing him standing still, Garnet asks if he is bad with spiders as well. He instantly shakes his head. He decides to deal with the spider as soon as possible, or the girls are going to believe he is also scared of them. He closes his eyes as he tries to catch the spider under her clothes, but the spider starts running again. This time, Jade doesn't want it to get away. He catches it, opens the window, and throws it outside. Jerome makes a confused face while Garnet finally takes relief. Jade smiles warmly for a moment, but then he apologizes for breaking her bed while going overboard. Garnet shrugs it off as she mentions she was going to replace it. When Jade thanks her, Garnet replies she should be the one thanking him. She adds she is glad to have him as her neighbor. Jade feels total bliss. He blushes hard recalling what she just said. He believes that soon they will be considered as friends. Then he points out that the stores must be closed at this time. However, Garnet says that only one side is broken. But Jade insists that is a problem. He thinks it would be bad if it completely breaks while she is asleep. He gets worried as he finds himself guilty for causing her trouble with sleep. Therefore, he suggests she take his bed. But then, Garnet points out he will have trouble sleeping. However, Jade insists he likes sleeping on the floor. Doromi says she will sleep on the sofa, as she can do anything to help her friend. Feeling warmness, Garnet thanks both of them. She feels grateful having friends like them. Jade blushes as he recalls what she just said. That means he has become Garnet's friend. With that, he leaves to grab his bed as he requests Garnet to wait a bit. After a few minutes, Jade finally places his bed in her bedroom. Seeing the lavish bed, Garnet thinks it's expensive, but Jade insists she feel free to use it. Still, Garnet protests taking the bed. Therefore, Doromi suggests they trade beds instead. Jade panics a bit. He thinks they can't just take her bed, as he believes Doromi is asking for too much. Unexpectedly, Garnet accepts the offer, which makes Jade cover his face because it actually happened. After that, Garnet thanks both of them for their work today. Jade shrugs it off and tells her to call him if there is another spider. As her friend, he will come to help her. Garnet says she will be counting on him then. Those words send Jade into eternal bliss, as he is grateful to be born. Later, Doromi is sleeping soundly on Garnet's bed, but it's too much for Jade to sleep on it, even if it's in his own house. He slowly lies on the bed under the quilt. After lying down, he notes that this exactly smells like Garnet. He feels embarrassed by it, but he thinks he will have some good dreams. But to his surprise, he has trouble sleeping. Eventually, morning comes, and he gets up with dark circles. Doromi asks if he has stayed up all night. He reveals that Garnet didn't let him sleep, and he didn't get a wink of sleep. Meanwhile, in a particular town, a small girl is starting her journey towards the capital. She wants to become an adventurer just like Jade. Doromi rubs her eyes as she mentions today's monster was very tough. She didn't expect it would take until morning to eliminate it. Jade laughs softly, agreeing with her. Now, both of them are sitting at the station waiting for a train to return to the capital. Suddenly, Jade notices something. He notes that a small girl in front has been looking at them for a while. Wondering if she needs something from them, he asks if he can help. That girl is actually the one who started her journey to become an adventurer. She hesitantly nods her head and unexpectedly requests to see under his feet. Jade grows confused. Meanwhile, Doromi asks if she needs them to take off their shoes. The girl with a backpack clarifies that she only wants to look under the bench. Therefore, both of them get up. After looking under the seat, the backpack girl concludes her item is not there. Doromi worriedly asks if she has lost something, and the girl mutters that she lost her money. Jade asks how much she has lost, and she regretfully reveals she has lost all of it. She weeps, revealing it is only her second day of becoming an adventurer. And now everything is gone. Jade thinks she hasn't been around for too long. He states she had some bad luck, then asks where she was headed. The girl confidently tells him she planned on going to the capital, as she always wanted her first quest issued at the Capital Guild. Seeing her, Jade recalls his own days when he was just a novice like her. He asks her name, and she says she is Marin, almost 12 years old. Jade tells her that she needs to be at least 12 years old to register as an adventurer. He also recalls that he registered right on his 12th birthday. He tells her they are heading to the capital, then he suggests buying her a ticket. Marin gets confused and asks why he wants to do that. Jade smiles warmly as he reveals he wants to help others, adding he doesn't have any reason other than that. Marin feels flattered, yet she feels bad for accepting his favor for free. Therefore, Jade suggests she pay him back after she gets her first paycheck as an adventurer. He adds that she can take her time since he lives in the capital. Doromi also agrees to wait for it too. Marin beams as she sincerely thanks them. Later, the train arrives and Jade tells them to head back to the capital. Their journey begins, and Marin asks how long it will take for them to reach their destination. Jade tells her they will reach it around dusk. He also tells her not to worry, as he has planned to give her money later for a hotel. Marin smiles as she reveals she has a place to stay, so he doesn't need to worry about that. Her sister lives in the capital, so she will live with her. Dormai asks if her sister is an adventurer as well. Marin answers that she works at the guild and doesn't come home often, so she is excited to see her. Jade adds that guild staff are pretty busy. He thinks the staff working on the counters are especially occupied, reflecting that few people have the right magic to appraise stones. He asks if her sister works as a receptionist. Marin nods and adds that her sister has the support flower crest. Therefore, she thinks it must be her class too. Jade explains that the guild will determine her flower crest, but he adds that getting the support crest has the lowest probability of them all. He further explains that the orders go in this rank: Geared, Attacker, Enhancer, and then Support. Marin gets a bit disappointed that it is in third place. This makes Jade ask if she wants to become an Enhancer. She nods confidently, adding that she wants to become like Jade, and that is why she wants the Enhancer crest like him. Jade gets stunned hearing his name from her. Marin then asks if he has met Jade at the capital. Doromi mutters that she has. Then she casually reveals that this guy is Jade. Marin freezes for a moment, and then she spots Jade's flower crest. She yells that he has the Enhancer flower crest and it is fully bloomed. She asks if he is the real Jade, and Jade calmly nods his head. Realizing he is Jade, Marin gets excited, mentioning she is a big fan of his. She mutters that she always wanted to become like him after hearing stories from her sister. She adds that whenever her sister comes back home, she always talks about him, considering him a super hard worker. Jade, a bit embarrassed, thanks her. Then Doromi asks if her sister ever mentioned her in those stories. Thinking a bit, Marin states they met last year and she didn't hear anything about Doromi. This makes Doromi confidently predict that this year there will be lots of stories about her as well. She adds that Marin will hear stories about a girl who bravely accompanies Jade through thick and thin. Marin curiously asks what kind of adventures they go on. Doromi boasts as she shares her tales, and both girls get busy discussing their adventures. At dusk, they arrive at the capital. Jade asks Marin if her sister is going to pick her up. Marin nods as she thanks him for the help and thanks Doromi for the fun stories. Doromi tells her she can visit if she wants to hear more, while Jade wishes her luck for her quests. Marin leaves as she waves at them, while Jade decides to head back home. Meanwhile, Doromi is feeling super sleepy. Reaching home, Jade changes Doromi's clothes and she falls onto the bed to sleep. At night, she wakes up feeling hungry, but Jade reveals he is about to sleep. Doromi protests, saying she can't sleep on an empty stomach. She drools as she wishes to eat some chicken or ribs. Jade cuts her speech short, agreeing they will get food. As they head out, Jade reflects that he can't let her drool on Garnet's bed. Suddenly, Marin calls out to both of them. Unexpectedly, Marin and Garnet are walking together. Seeing them together, Jade gets stunned. He wonders why the two are here. Seeing them hand in hand, Jade greets them and wonders if they are related. Garnet greets him back and tells him she has heard everything from Marin. She adds she is grateful that they helped her sister. Now he realizes that Marin is actually Garnet's little sister. He recalls Marin saying she heard about him from her sister. He blushes, wondering if Garnet calls him Jade-kun as well. He blushes even more as he recalls that Garnet complimented him by calling him a super hard worker. He feels so happy. But then Garnet tells him she will pay him back, as Marin will take a long time to do so. Jade shrugs it off instantly as he believes they all help each other out. Garnet points out he has helped her so much more, but Jade doesn't care much about it. He believes it is proper neighbor etiquette. On top of that, he adds they are friends. Garnet smiles warmly. Marin gets surprised to find her sister is friends with Jade, and Garnet confirms it. Jade is over the moon hearing Garnet say they are friends. Next, he suggests that all of them go eat together. Jade clenches his fist, noting this is the first time he has asked her directly. If she accepts, it will make it easier for him to ask her out in the future. However, Garnet reveals she has to decline as they have already eaten. She adds that they can share a meal on another day. Jade smiles brightly as he agrees with her. With that, Garnet and her sister head towards their home. The next day, someone knocks on the door. He opens it and finds Garnet standing there, so he greets her. He wonders if he is dreaming, but after pinching himself, he realizes he is awake. Soon he realizes she looks a bit different. Then he sees her wearing a skirt and finds her adorable. He knows she usually wears pants with casual dressing. Therefore, he decides to etch this into his memory. He knows staring at her skirt will be bad for him, but he really wants to see it. He struggles between looking and trying not to look. Meanwhile, Garnet notes his eyes are wandering. He covers it up by saying it is too bright outside. Then he points out she is in casual clothes today. She reveals she goes to work in her casual clothes and changes into her uniform at the guild. Jade has now learned something new about her. He asks if she is going to work. She nods, but then adds she needs to do something before that, as she has something to discuss with him. Jade gets really curious about what she wants to talk about. He yells that he will be fine with it, even if it takes years, although Garnet states it will only take a couple of minutes. As Jade acknowledges her, he asks what is on her mind. After frowning a bit, she asks if he planned to go to the guild today. He nods immediately, but she then makes a sad face. She turns as she says that's all she wanted to talk about. Then she apologizes for disturbing him. After a brief pause, Jade wonders if that was really all. He stops her by saying she has a request that he will happily hear. Garnet turns back. Meanwhile, Jade thinks that she knows he visits the guild every day, yet she came here this early to confirm it. He concludes that she must have some personal request for him. As Garnet comes back, he tells her he will help her out because they are friends, so she doesn't need to hold back. After thinking a bit, Garnet reveals she is here to ask a favor regarding Marin. Then, Jade gets a bit worried. Garnet says she wants him to watch over Marin during the day. Jade repeats her words, and Garnet explains that she can fully trust him with her sister. She asks if this will be a problem for him. Jade is stunned as he wonders if she truly trusts him that much. He confidently accepts her request, adding that he was just going to the guild to report yesterday's quest anyway. Garnet thanks him warmly. She reveals that since she can only ask him and Doromi for a favor like this, it is a big help. Jade feels warmth as he repeats her words. Internally, however, he weeps with joy as he finally sees the results of the efforts he has put in for the past 10 years. He asks if Marin is still at home, and Garnet nods, saying the girl is still sleeping, but that she will wake her up to tell her the news. Next, unexpectedly, Garnet asks if she looks strange in a skirt. Jade reacts instantly, asking why she would ask him that. Garnet says it is because he has been glancing at her. Jade insists it is not like that. Rather, he was thinking that while her usual style suits her, the skirt matches her very well too. After blushing a bit, Garnet says she can calm down while wearing a skirt, but notes this one was a present from her sister. She feels happy being complimented by him, and hearing this makes Jade smile. She points out that Marin loves him. Garnet adds that she loves Marin too, as she is her one and only sister. She closes her eyes and mentions that she just wants Marin to be happy. Jade can clearly see her sad face. He can tell that she doesn't want Marin to become an adventurer. He knows that the moment Marin becomes an adventurer, danger will be around the corner. With that, Garnet decides to leave Marin in his care for the day, and he attentively acknowledges the task. As Garnet leaves, Jade gets worried. As a fellow adventurer, he cannot let Marin give up on her dreams. Keeping both what Marin wants and what Garnet wants in mind, he decides to respect both of their wishes. He wants to ensure that Marin can peacefully spend her time as an adventurer, so he decides to support her. A few hours later, Jade knocks at Garnet's door. Marin comes outside, greeting them with a warm smile. Doromi proudly reveals they will be going to the guild, and will then take her to show her the capital. The idea of a tour around the capital makes Marin excited. Later, they reach the guild. Jade leaves the two girls outside, where Doromi tells stories of her adventures with Jade to the kids and Marin. After some time, Jade heads out. He sees Marin praising Doromi for fighting monsters even without having a crest. Marin decides she wants to be like her in the future. Jade interrupts their talk and suggests they go ahead. When asked where they are heading, Jade reveals they are going to a boutique. Later, they arrive at the shop. Marin is amazed by the beautiful dresses inside and beams as she observes how big the place is. Jade is glad to see she likes the location. While showing her money, Marin asks if 10,000 gold is enough for her to dress like him. However, Jade thinks she doesn't have to worry about the money. He tells her they won't have his clothes in her size, therefore he suggests she dress like Doromi. Marin likes the idea and Doromi gets excited as well, suggesting they look for clothes she would wear. With that, Marin tries on a white one-piece dress, then a white skirt, and then a white robe. Marin yells that they all look good and struggles to choose one. Meanwhile, Jade notes how much she likes white, as even the outfit she is currently wearing is white. Right then, Doromi suggests they look into something different, like shoes, handbags, or jewelry. Marin decides to look for handbags, and Doromi finds the idea good since she can put some rocks inside one. As both girls are busy choosing a bag, Jade watches them from behind with a smile. After a few minutes, both of them hold the same looking bag and are super happy about it. Jade remarks they have picked some cute stuff. Doromi agrees and decides to put some rocks in hers. Something hits her mind, and she offers Marin a rock. Marin asks if she can really keep it, and Doromi mentions it is a token of their friendship. Marin feels good and thanks her sincerely. In return, she decides to give Doromi a hairpin. Doromi thanks her, and Marin places it in her hair. Doromi looks pretty cute with the hairpin. Marin says she looks good, while Jade thinks she looks cute. Doromi acts shy as they both praise her look. The next stop is the armory, as Jade decides to buy Marin some equipment. There, Marin tries on armor, which she finds pretty cramped, and she struggles moving around. Jade comments that finding the right equipment is quite tough. Doromi moves around and spots a shield, commenting that it will be easy for Marin to carry. Observing it closely, Jade sees it can also hold a small dagger inside. Marin thinks it will be a good fit and decides to buy it. Jade plans to ask the clerk about the price. As Marin holds the shield, she finds it super light. Jade explains it is made of mithril, the strongest and lightest metal in the world. Marin gets a bit nervous because the shield looks very expensive, which is its true market value. However, Jade tells her to rest assured as he takes responsibility for the bill. He adds that almost everyone knows him, so he will get it for cheap. Marin considers him dependable as she gives her money to him. She also hopes she will have enough money left for lunch, but Jade insists her current funds should be enough. Marin leaves everything to Jade and he tells the girls to decide what they want for lunch. He goes straight to the clerk, who welcomes him to the shop. Jade asks the price of the shield. The clerk checks his documents but then apologizes, revealing that the price of mithril has increased recently. Hearing that, Jade offers him 5 million gold. The clerk accepts it while being stunned. Later, Marin is shocked to see Jade got the shield for just 500 gold, leaving her with 2,000 gold and change. Jade adds it is a miracle they got the shield at such a low price, while Marin calls it luck that they came to this shop. Doromi then wishes to see Marin with the shield. Marin holds it confidently, and Doromi comments that the shield suits her perfectly. Marin smiles warmly, deciding to become a great adventurer with this equipment. With that, both girls walk ahead. Doromi wants to eat lots of meat, and Marin also wants to eat a lot to get stronger. They walk while holding each other's hands. Seeing them, Jade wishes to hold Garnet's hand one day in the same way. Later in the evening, Garnet arrives at Jade's house to pick up her sister. She asks if Marin had fun. Marin beams as she explains Jade took them to many places, and she and Doromi even bought matching bags. Garnet remarks that they look cute. Then she asks about the shield. Marin explains she got it from the armory and adds it is mithril. Garnet states it is very expensive, but Marin mentions she got it for just 5,000 gold. Doromi states the prices were surprisingly low. Garnet grows a bit confused. Then she looks at Jade, who is smiling. She smiles back as she calls them lucky. Meanwhile, Jade can tell that Garnet knows the real price of mithril. Garnet thanks Jade for taking care of Marin and decides to treat them to dinner. When he asks if they are going to eat together, Garnet asks if they have already eaten. Jade shakes his head as she decides to pay for the meal. He reveals the three of them were making plans for tomorrow, as Marin will be helping at his house. Marin happily says she is going to clean up and then play afterward. Therefore, Jade tells Garnet that there is no need to pay him back. He then nervously mutters that if she has any problem with leaving Marin with him, then that is fine. Garnet smiles warmly and says she isn't worried one bit, as she trusts him completely. She decides to leave Marin with him tomorrow as well. Jade confidently reveals he will protect her sister no matter what. When Garnet asks if cleaning is even dangerous, he states he is just getting into a protective mindset. Both Doromi and Jade tell Garnet to leave Marin in their care, while Marin is excited to do her best at cleaning tomorrow. The next day, Marin arrives at Jade's place with her cleaning equipment and her newly bought shield. Doromi welcomes her back, while Jade cannot understand why she brought her shield. Jade asks if Garnet is off to work. Marin nods and adds her sister went to work after waking her up, though she fell asleep again afterward. Jade imagines that if Garnet were here, she would definitely tell Marin she won't need a shield to clean. Then he tells Marin she could have taken her time coming over. He requests that she clean the whole house, from the living room to the bedroom. She acknowledges the task, and Doromi adds they will make everything clean. With that, both girls excitedly start cleaning. By 1 p.m., both girls are done and believe everything looks spotless. Jade praises their work. As a reward, he decides to buy them any treats they want. Both girls get excited and Doremi shows interest in eating lollipops. Before that, Doremi raises her arms and informs Jade they found a letter while cleaning. She explains it was pressed between some books. Jade states he totally forgot about it and thanks them for finding it. Doremi asks who sent the letter and Jade calmly reveals it is from the king. Marin pauses as she thinks about the king. Then she panically yells, asking if he knows the king personally. Doremi says she also knows him, which makes Marin even more panicky. She stutters as she believes this is amazing. Doremi says it is not a big deal since the king looks pretty normal, but Marin calls her rude. Then Doremi asks what the letter says. Jade reveals it is an invitation to a ball. Marin freaks out, asking if the king really invited him. Jade explains that the king holds an event for his birthday and invites all adventurers ranked 8 or above. Doremi gets excited about the food at the event, and she and Marin ask if the parties are good. Unexpectedly, Jade reveals he doesn't know because he has never attended. Both of them are shocked and ask for the reason. He explains he prioritizes his quests over anything. Deep down, he knows his duty as an adventurer, but spending time with Garnet at the guild is simply much more valuable to him. He states that since it is a ball, he needs to take a partner with him. He thinks it would be so nice to go there with Garnet someday. Meanwhile, Marin stares at him for a moment, and then suggests he go there with her sister. Jade freaks out, wondering if she can read his mind. Marin remarks that the two of them get along pretty well. Jade tries to confirm this, and Marin nods, stating the two of them are friends indeed. Internally, he agrees. Until now, he had almost given up on the idea of becoming close with Garnet, since they only interacted for business. But now that both of them are friends, he thinks she will accept his request. He decides to brace himself, as this time his quest is to invite her to the ball. With determination, Jade decides to invite Garnet to the ball. Meanwhile, Doremi decides to go with him if Garnet turns him down, making Jade think she will jinx it. However, he acknowledges that the possibility of Garnet turning him down exists. Therefore, he decides to practice inviting her. After that, Marin points out how dirty she looks after cleaning. Jade suggests that both girls take a bath before heading out to play, and they head to the bathroom. Jade notes he doesn't have much time left since he must ask Garnet out soon. Knowing she won't be home now, he decides to practice in front of her house until Doremi and Marin are done with their bath. Standing in front of Garnet's house, he blushes hard and feels pressured, even while just practicing. He takes time to calm himself down, believing that if he uses a smart approach, she will accept. With that in mind, he pretends she is there. He starts a speech praising the good weather and then asks if she wants to go out to a dance, but he quickly thinks it is useless to bring up the weather. He then asks if she would like to go to a dance, but he feels it lacks impact. Next, he starts a speech mentioning the king's birthday and requests to celebrate with a dance at the castle. He then thinks there is no point, as the dance is specifically for the king's birthday. He holds his head in frustration, thinking he can't do this, yet he really wants to dance with her. Something hits his mind. He reminds himself that he simply wants to dance with her and needs to express his true feelings. After wondering if he should tell her straight, he clears his throat and confidently requests her to come with him to the ball. To his surprise, Garnet arrives right at that moment, asking what he is doing there. He freaks out and screams internally, panicking at the sight of the real Garnet. He nervously asks why she is here during her working hours. Garnet states she is on her break and came back to check on Marin. Jade continues to panic but answers that both girls got dirty after cleaning and are now taking a bath. Meanwhile, he wonders what to do, thinking she probably heard him. He is sure she must have seen him talking to himself and worries she takes him for a weirdo. Therefore, he decides to ask her something. With a low voice, he asks how she would describe him. She confusingly repeats his question but then answers that he looks like a very kind person. When he asks if that is all, she adds that he is a very serious person who is good with kids and a hard worker. Jade is happy she is praising him instead of calling him strange. Unexpectedly, Garnet asks if he was trying to invite her to the ball. Jade freezes and asks if she heard everything. She states she heard him loud and clear. Now he wonders what to do. He was only practicing, and now it has become a real situation. He panically assumes it is a no from her after hearing his practice. However, she states she will go if he is okay with it. Still, Jade, thinking she could never say yes, states he already knew she would refuse because she is busy with work. Reality hits him and he stops mid-sentence. After a brief silence, he yells, asking her to repeat what she just said. Garnet says she will go with him to the ball. He asks if she is really sure and asks if she is okay dancing with him. Garnet nods calmly. Now, Jade is in total bliss and yells that he is very happy. Garnet points out he is getting too excited and he mentions he is feeling super happy, changing his sentence to say he loves to dance with her. Garnet laughs softly. As Jade starts leaving, she says she will do her best not to step on his feet. Jade says he will practice a lot and says goodbye. Garnet stands there looking at his back with a warm smile and a little blush. Back at his place, Jade practices his dancing. He can't believe he is actually going to dance with Garnet. He feels so happy that he cries. Meanwhile, the girls get out of the bath and ask about his dancing. He explains Garnet visited during her break and that they are going to the ball together. Both Marin and Doromi are happy to hear the news. Jade clenches his fist, determined to practice hard to dance well with Garnet. First, he decides what to wear. He puts on a shining suit and asks the girls for their opinions. One says it's too bright, while the other says it's too sparkly. Next, he tries a full black outfit. One says it is too black, and the other agrees. He thinks Garnet will not be able to see him when they go home, so he tries another outfit. The next outfit is quite decent, and both girls are amazed. Doremi remarks it looks great. When Jade asks if it is too plain, Marin says it fits him well and will be easy to dance in. He thanks them both sincerely. With just 5 days remaining for the party, Jade goes to the library to learn more about dancing. While the girls play, he practices. He even practices with the girls to ensure he can capture Garnet's heart. Finally, the day of the party arrives. Marin apologizes to Jade because he has to accompany her on her first quest. He shrugs it off, stating the party is at night and that Garnet asked him to keep an eye on her. Marin thanks him sincerely, while Jade reflects that they have to say goodbye to her after today. He recalls her goal. She wanted her first quest to be issued at the Capital Guild. She left her hometown for this, and once she completes the quest, she will go home. It is a bit sad for Jade, as he wanted to see her development. Doromi decides to throw a party at home to celebrate Marin becoming an adventurer, while Jade and Garnet go to the ball. Marin announces she will do her best, and Jade wishes her luck. He suggests they head to the guild registration office. Later at the guild, Marin feels nervous seeing so many adventurers, but she follows through. She reaches the reception to pay for registration and fills out the form. The next step is to determine her flower crest type. While putting her hand over the orb, she wishes for an enhancer crest. She is surprised when she sees her flower crest. She runs toward Doremi and Jade. When asked what kind of crest she got, Marin happily reveals she got the enhancer crest, making her the same type of adventurer as Jade. Jade congratulates her with a warm smile. With that, Marin's tale as an adventurer begins. Later, the group arrives in the woods for her first quest, Slime Subjugation. It is Marin's first time seeing a slime, while Doromi thinks it looks tasty like jelly. The slime starts getting away, and Marin chases it while Jade wishes her luck. After a couple of seconds, she yells at the slime to face her head-on, saying that running away is for chickens. The slime stops as it gets furious and attacks. Luckily, she protects herself with her shield. From behind, Doromi cheers her on while Marin tries striking the slime with her dagger. Unfortunately, the slime hits the shield hard, and she falls, believing the slime is very strong. She notes she has already enhanced her strength, but the dagger bounces off. Realizing slashes are not working, she tries thrusting and lands an attack. Doromi is amazed while Jade observes closely. Finally, she defeats the slime and gets a mana stone. Marin is amazed as she runs toward her friends, announcing her success. Later, at Jade's place, he changes into his outfit for the ball and asks if he looks weird. The girls comment that he looks cool and the outfit suits him well. He thanks them, feeling good. One girl asks if he is nervous, and Jade nods, stating it is his first ball at the castle. Furthermore, he thinks about his partner being Garnet. His heart beats faster because in just a few hours he will be dancing with her, which feels like a dream. Marin asks if her sister is coming soon, but Jade explains she is working and will take a bit more time. He reflects that the guild closes at sunset, so she will arrive after that. Sitting on the sofa, he wonders what she is going to wear. Suddenly, someone knocks on the door. Marin wonders if it is her sister, though Jade believes it is a bit early. He opens the door and finds Garnet standing there. She is wearing a beautiful gown with accessories. Her hair is styled with flowers and she has calming eyes. With a subtle smile, she asks if she made him wait too long. Jade looks at her affectionately while she blushes. It feels like a dream for Jade to dance with someone as beautiful as her tonight. At the entrance of Jade's place, the two look at each other. To him, the moment feels like a beautiful dream. When the girls arrive, Marin exclaims that her sister looks super cute, while Doromi says she looks incredible. Meanwhile, Jade thinks that truer words have never been spoken. He finds her drop-dead gorgeous. She looks almost like an adorable bride about to get married. His body trembles at the sight of her, and he murmurs that he is truly moved. Nervously, Garnet calls him Jade-kun for the first time, as she asks if she looks okay. The use of his name catches Jade off guard and leaves him stunned. He tells her she looks absolutely stunning. She pauses for a moment, then smiles warmly with relief. Jade notes that while she already looked great, her smile puts her on another level of beauty. Garnet then tells him he looks charming as well, and he thanks her sincerely. He suggests they head off. Since it is a bit early, he comments that they will need to spend their time somewhere else first. Garnet expresses interest in seeing the fountain at the plaza as she is fond of it. Jade acknowledges her wish and decides to escort her. With that, the two leave while the girls see them off. Later, the girls throw a party at Jade's house. They cheer as Dorome congratulates Marin for completing her first quest. However, Marin gives the credit to her and Jade. She is glad her quest was completed before sunset. Otherwise, Jade and her sister would have missed the ball. Dorome agrees and is glad everything went well. She smiles warmly, mentioning that they will be going their separate ways from now on. Yet she still congratulates Marin from the heart. Marin gets a bit teary-eyed. Dorome suggests they drink milk, and Marin agrees, deciding to have nothing but fun today. After sipping the milk, both of them feel wonderful. Marin comments that milk hits differently after an adventure. Dorome agrees as she loves milk and thinks it gains a particular taste after a quest. Next, Marin remarks that the lollipops she bought have a good taste as well. Dorome points out that Marin bought them with her own earned money. Looking at her milk, Marin thinks the moment is special. She expresses a wish to buy something for her sister with her own money. Dorome believes Garnet would be super happy but asks if Marin has enough money left. With a sad face, Marin reveals she spent most of it on candy. She believes she doesn't have enough and decides to give up. Looking at her sad face closely, Dorome suggests they take another quest right now. Meanwhile, Jade and Garnet walk together. He blushes, feeling the unreality of standing next to her. He asks if the guild closed early today, and she replies that it is still open. However, she ended her day early because she didn't want him to wait long. Jade apologizes for troubling her, but to his surprise, she states she was also looking forward to the evening. He curiously asks if she likes to dance. Garnet blushes and shakes her head, adding that she saw him having fun during his practice, so she looked forward to it as well. She admits she is bad at dancing and requests that he not expect too much. Jade blushes, happy to know she shares his excitement. To put her at ease, he states he isn't good at dancing either, but he promises to give her a good time. He is determined to do his best so she will have fun. She thanks him with a warm smile. Meanwhile, Jade thinks that if he gives Garnet a good time tonight, he might be able to invite her again next year. They finally arrive at the fountain. Jade spots a bench and suggests they sit to enjoy the view. Garnet remarks that they can see the reflection of the setting sun on the water, which is lovely to watch. After a small smile, he suggests they sit down. Sitting on the bench, he still finds Garnet more beautiful than the fountain. He tells himself he could watch her forever, though he fears she would find him a weirdo if he did. Garnet begins speaking and thanks him for assisting Marin today. Jade says he didn't do much, explaining he only watched over her. Garnet insists that because of him, she doesn't need to worry. Hearing this, Jade thinks she must have been worried about Marin taking a quest on her own. He asks if she is against Marin becoming an adventurer. After a brief pause, she mentions she is just worried her sister will end up like their father. Jade asks if their father was an adventurer. She nods, stating he only lived for adventures and rarely came home. They still don't know where he is. The last time they saw him was 12 years ago before Marin was born. Jade notes that is a long time and understands her worry. He thinks of two possibilities. Either her father got too engrossed in his travels to come home, or he lost his life. Garnet mentions it would be great if her father came back, as she wants to meet him again. She states this is the reason she started working at the guild. Jade agrees, pointing out that as a staff member, she can collect more information. Unexpectedly, Garnet reveals she hasn't found any. Then, Jade asks for her father's name. She says his name is Onyx. Something clicks in Jade's mind. He asks if the man has a scar on his right cheek. Garnet nods, explaining he got the injury protecting their mother from a monster. She asks if Jade knows him. Unexpectedly, Jade reveals he met her father when he was still a kid. He explains that 12 years ago, her father arrived in his hometown. He had a scar on his cheek and a rank 7 flower crest. He was the first adventurer Jade ever met. Jade explains that her father told him many stories. After hearing them, Jade decided to become an adventurer himself. 12 years ago, young Jade beamed, finding adventurers cool and showing interest in the profession. Seeing this, Onyx asked his age. When Jade revealed he was 10, Onyx stated he only needed to wait 2 more years. Jade got fired up and decided to become an adventurer at 12 so he could travel and fight monsters. Onyx laughed at his goal. Jade told the man his name, and in exchange, Onyx told him his. Hearing about the past, Garnet smiles softly. Jade mentions he owes her father a lot, believing he never would have become an adventurer or met Garnet if it weren't for Onyx. He wishes to meet her father again to thank him properly. Therefore, he decides to go find him. He guesses Onyx must be in a different country, as the world is massive and they are at the edge of the continent. He adds that it is common not to hear news from someone traveling across the world. He decides to gather information on his own adventures and go to different countries if necessary. Garnet feels she is being a burden, but Jade explains he wants to meet her father too. He adds that it is his way of returning the favor for her going to the ball with him. She chuckles as she thanks him and decides to dance her best. Like her, Jade decides to do his best tonight. As the clock strikes 7, they decide to head to the castle. Jade gets up, but Garnet notices something is wrong. She states there was something sticky on the bench and asks if her dress is dirty. Jade spots a little stain and apologizes for not noticing the bench was soiled. He regrets not being the one who sat there, but Garnet insists it isn't his fault. However, she believes it would be rude to present herself to the king like this. Jade believes the king will be okay with it since he is lenient. Next, he suggests she change, adding that he has many dresses at home. When Garnet asks about them, Jade freezes, thinking he blurted out too much. He tries to handle the situation by saying he bought them for Jerome for when she gets older. Garnet says she would feel bad wearing them, but Jade instantly bows and explains there are many dresses available. Garnet finally gives in. Jade feels grateful she didn't ask more questions. Arriving at his place, they do not find the girls. Garnet wonders if they are in another room. Jade rushes to look around, feeling a bad vibe. After some minutes, Garnet states she didn't find them anywhere. Jade stands by the dining table, wondering where they could be. Garnet wonders if they went to the guild, and Jade thinks the same. He reflects that quests at night are dangerous and decides to stop the two. While heading out, he notes they still have time before the party. He insists they go to the guild, and Garnet acknowledges the plan.
Here I am, know it's been a while. I was in denial about my love. Here I stand, I know I walked away. Had to find the person I'd become.